systems at Nairobi University. So that means when I stand here, I will be giving you substance that can be related to. So with that, let me just take you through the presentation, and I want to be as short as possible so that the time taken is brief. When the elections were beginning to take place, out of just curiosity, I decided to do a tally this time, because my first vote was in 1992, and all along we've been voting and not seeing so much success in the vote. So this time, I said, because I could see results streaming in to the IEBC servers, not really the portal at Bomas, I decided to pick up those results and tally them myself directly. And when I tallied, it happens that the results that I got were exactly what was at the Bomas. Then I got discouraged and left the whole thing. But then at some point later, I decided to go to the secretariat and talk to the executive director of the party, of the Orange Democratic Movement. Then, as I was trying to present to him what I was trying to do, because I was trying to see some anomalies here and there in my analysis, but I couldn't figure out exactly what exactly were the anomalies. Then he flooded me with another set of data. He told me that we have this data that has come from somebody that they call the whistleblower. And as we stand here, please don't confuse me for a whistleblower. I am not. I am just here to compare the two results and give you the outcome. So the whistleblower is not here, and so please don't take that as the case. So I'm going to take you through what the findings were, as brief as possible. In the analysis, I came up with the issue of the national tally, which graded down to the regional tallies to constituents. Actually, the building block started from the polling station tallies so that I could get what His Excellency had been talking about, because it was like he is saying 8.1 million. But for me, when I added in the IBC portal, I was getting 6.9 million. So I wanted to know where is exactly this 8.1 million coming from. And then I decided to tally direct from the polling stations. And when I tallied, this is exactly what I got, which I'm going to take you through, and then leave you with a site to go and check by yourselves. I got that 8.11244 million. That gave His Excellency the 56.9%. And also I got 5.938160. That gave the other His Excellency 41.7%. Again, I compared with what I got from, so that gave me a vote difference of 2.174 million votes. And these are realities, because these are data that you can add by yourselves. I'll give you, and you will check. Then I looked at the IBC. Then I realized this is the result that came out when I was tallying. I got that I want to move very fast, so please kindly allow me to refer to our two leaders. Sometimes my mouth will be slipping and I'll be calling them by name. I'll just be saying Raila, and I'll also be saying RUTO, but it's out of full respect that I'll be doing that so that I move faster. So here, I noticed that His Excellency RUTO got that, and His Excellency Raila got 6.9 from the IEBC servers. Because here you can see that I am less 36 polling stations that I did not get from the IEBC portal. So that gave the 30 votes. while we know that the portal of IEBC is talking of about 233,000 votes. I want to take you through some things here. I have two sets of forms that I will show you where they are. In one set of form, the title may look like this. And if you look at it, you compare with the next one that I'm showing. Actually, I've showed one here, and I've showed the other one. And I cannot tell the difference between those two in the heading. It's not possible to tell the difference between those two. And then I went and checked on the sign sections, and then I realized again that I cannot also tell a difference between the two in the sign sections. But then now it was like, how do we get the real difference? If I go to the content of these forms, you realize that the data is in a picture form. And in that picture form, it's very hard to read by some software. So again, by looking at them in a nutshell, just with a naked eye, you're not able to differentiate. So in one form, it's like that, and in another one, it's like that. So looking at this and looking at that, the only thing that can be easily visible is the totals down here. You can see that here, in this form, I have the Right Honorable getting 24,544 votes, and His Excellency RUTO is getting 12,808 votes. But if you go to the other one, now you get that the Right Honorable Prime Minister is getting 24,444. Now, if you compare with the other one, there's already 100 votes not there accounted for, because here it is 24,544, but here it is 24,444. Then when you go to Dr. Ruto's side, you're going to see 12,808, but on this other side it is 12,908. Now that data is massive inside there, that where to pick that 100 that has been taken from Jacom and given to Ruto on the other side is very hectic for the 291 forms that are there, that is plus including the diaspora. So I decided to subject this to a system that gave me clear pictures. And in that system, I started noticing a few things. You can see here that in this station, Jacom has 270 and 79 for Ruto. But when you come to this side, now he has 170 and 179 for Ruto. And I picked, that is noticeable. So with that, you can easily see that the 100 has been taken from these two, and then the 100 added here has been added at 179. And it's only in this one polling station, which is actually station number 1, in a stream of 10 polling stations, which were not touched. Only one of them was touched, and the change was there. I give you another one of a different one. Here, you can see that in this station called Mivumoni Primary School, Jacom has 277 and Ruto has 102. But when you come to this, now he has 77 and here it is 302. And noting that these are forms that reflect all the features of IEBC, 0.4 in a voting block of the whole of Rift Valley is not far from the truth. It's true that you can see that it's possible that the 1.4 was highly attainable, because we should have seen what we were seeing in Central in Rift Valley, because in Central it was 400,000 votes only, and in Rift Valley he has 1.1 million votes. And this other system is not exaggerating. It is giving 1.4, so we can see that he lost 336,000 votes in Central, in Rift Valley as a whole, and Dr. RUTO gained 346,000 votes. When you come to Western region, the ruling votes as we speak, Jacom had 845,000 votes against Dr. RUTO's 513 in IEBC portal. But when we analyze the other data set, we have Jacom having 892,000 versus 466,000 votes, meaning in Western province, or Western region, all of it, he lost 47,000 votes, and Dr. RUTO gained 46,000 votes. You can see that the consistency in that what you lose on this side, you gain on that side, almost gives credibility to this as a very pre-planned outcome that was meant to be. When you come to Nyanza region, we have IBC giving Jacom a total of 1.87 million votes versus Dr. RUTO's 283,000 votes. Knowing Nyanza as it is, well, we know that's possible. Then when we look at what comes out at the other data set, we have Jacom having 1.89 million votes, just 1.9 million votes, and then Dr. RUTO getting 261. So here, he was also denied 20,000 votes, and Dr. RUTO added 22,000 votes. Then we come lastly to Nairobi as a region, which is also a county on its own. Then we have, from IBC portal, he's given 757, and Dr. RUTO is given 535,000 votes. But in the other data set, we have 822, 623, and 470, giving him a loss of 65,000 votes, and Dr. RUTO gaining 65,000 votes as well. Apparently, the other data set for diaspora was not available, so we relied basically on the portal data, and that's why we have 0-0 there. So we have a set of data that were not available, and that is why we only work with what was there. So looking at it carefully, you will note that in the end, His Excellency the Prime Minister lost 1.182 million votes, and RUTO was awarded 1.2 million votes nationally. And in that, now, if you add all these data values and all this, you're going to have 244 million votes. And then Dr. RUTO having 5.9. So when you hear His Excellency the Prime Minister saying, I have been having 8.1 million votes, this is the breakdown in the constituency format. And Dr. RUTO, he has been saying, has been having 5.9 million votes. This is the breakdown in the constituency format, so that you can easily track it. Because looking at it on the final value is confusing, that everybody else would be asking, where are those values coming from? So with that, allow me to now take you to the last section of this presentation. I'll choose a few constituencies and then just that it. This website is arranged in a very easy way. In this part, we have the county and then the constituency. On this first column for downloads, You have the original server form. That is the form that was obtained later from IEBC. We have listed them all here. And then we have the Bomas portal forms. Someone may be asking, where did you get the Bomas portal forms? Because they removed them from their portal. I told you that I got sort of excited with seeing that data set, and I said, let me download it earlier. So I downloaded all of them at the right time when it was still fresh. And I can show you here that these are the data from the IEBC. You can see my download dates. Here, date modified, the last download dates, that this was all on August. These are 888, You can see 888 and the dates, and then 2022. That means these are the authentic data forms 34B from the IEBC that were used to inform Form 34C, that were used to inform Form 34D, that were finally declared. So these are the correct data sets. So that's where we have them. And my logs are showing clearly that they are genuine and they are authentic. So if you download this, then you will be actually downloading the server form. You go through it, look at it, you will see that it's exactly a copy of the other form. That let me go and download it again. For this one, this is the IEBC portal form. And if you look at them, you can only detect from the signatures that these forms are not far from being they are not different at all. So let me take you to the signature part and look at them. I want you to look at just this telephone number written here. It is 8 and 5 is crossing this line. And when I take you to this, you can also see that 8 and 5 is crossing the line. So it's basically the same form, signed by the same people. But when you take them through a process that we did, then I take you here, and you'll see the outcome. Now let me be clear that we had 4 candidates, and out of these 4 candidates, the other 2, we added their values and they all returned 0. That means nothing was deducted, nothing was added to the other 2 candidates. So instead of bogging you down with so much data, we decided to omit them and compare only the 2 data sets from the first 2 candidates. And so this is what came up from Likoni. If you look at it, we have the station, and then the stream of the station. For example, Mtongwe had 3 streams, and they're all captured there as this is the stream. The first, the other person is on the other at 6,800 votes lost and 7,100 votes gained. Yes, so I want to take you to Mwea, where I have an issue with the forms there. Mwea is found in Kirinyaga, I think.
So please.
Viva Azimio, viva. Forward with the People's March to State House, forward. Long live Baba, long live. First of all, I'm very humbled here, and I really appreciate you all you. Na kwa presence here, humble kwa presence here na Baba, na nyinyi wote, freedom fighter, mama yetu Martha Karua, na all the leaders here, Azimio. I really appreciate you for coming back here to the shrine of resistance. As you know, miaka yote na Baba, ukisoma historia ya Baba, even his naming, Raila Odinga, he struggled for his name. Just imagine when you have na priest ataka kukubatisha na nguvu, akupatie majina ambao babako hataki, na babako anasema hapana, he must get an African name. Just imagine walitoka kwa kanisa, wakakaa for a month, then until the bishop said, no, you can bring them, I baptize them. Tukrapieni baba bana. So we are so humbled by a social justice movement to be here, and we are very happy that we are allowed to speak. Some of my colleagues will say something, but we have some issues as tunataka kuzungumzia kwamba because the electoral injustice ama the electoral justice campaign baba alizungumzia pia before 2017. Now what has been shared here is very clear that there was manipulation. And even the German court, now I'm sure comrade like kina Amolo, Tendo Amolo, when they are talking about hizo BVR, they have made German court imesema you can't leave machine to vote for people's leadership. Na baba amesema hivyo kuanzia 2017 and even now. And we can see here is manipulation. So sisi kile tunataka kuadd kwa hii electoral justice campaign na people's march to state house ni ya kwamba lazima pia tuambatane na issues za social justice. Long live baba, long live. Long live baba, long live. Forward with the resistance, forward. Forward with the march to state house, forward. Asante sana baba, niko nasema kwanza tunakusherekea kwa hiyo miaka yote. Kuna watu wanasema ati utuache kwa wilderness. Ati baba retire atuache kwa wilderness. Sisi tukuliwe. Usituache kwa sababu these are hyena. They are political hyena. There's two fellows in state house. They are political hyena. They know when you leave us before we reach Canaan where they are taking up. They just hijacked the instrument of power. And because they don't have an idea, they may lead this country to anarchy. It's so dangerous. They may lead this country to anarchy. So in vizuri pia we go back to the framework that you started as a former prime minister and many others so that we can articulate the vision of Azimio properly and our people will be rallied behind the march to state house to reclaim our democracy, our institution and our country through a holistic vision ambayo pia inazungumzia mambo ya TJRC, mambo ya the model of economy that you had proposed. Na ya mwisho pia tunasema an immediate stop, as we saw yesterday, ethnicization of security agencies and public service by Kenya Kwanza region. As you can see what they are doing, they are ethnicizing security agencies as it happened before. So also we are demanding that, and we hope this also will be added in the resolution of today. The last one is also, Baba, I want to say that when you listen to your speech, and very clearly, that's why I'm saying that there is international conspiracy that robbed us this victory. It's so clear. When you listen to Baba's speech, when he was speaking to business people, he was so clear how to change this country. Starting with the formation of the business class in this country, how far we have come from. He was so clear. He was so clear. And even he was asked about the question of manufacturing. You know what he said? He talked about all the wealth of resources in Congo, in East Africa, everywhere he talked, especially in Congo. And he said everyone is looking for coltan in Congo, everyone is looking for mentor in Congo. And he was so clear about how he will revive manufacturing. And that's why, Baba, I'm saying this. And this must be well articulated. The international conspiracy. Listen to the Pan-African speaking. And they said, if we give him this, we will allow him to take this. And he's talking about, and even in the neighborhood, there was a lot of fear of you becoming president. Because they know you become president, the entire region changed. And also I say, although the former president, Uhuru Kenyatta, he had a progressive foreign policy. He made there was a peace in Ethiopia. He made sure our army progressive has entered in Congo. And also he also opened some embassies that imperialists don't like Palestine. So these people had a grudges against us. And we must be honest and tell them. I was saying the German country, they have said you can't use BVR as machine, the Supreme Court. You can't use machine for people to vote. They have told us about manipulation. So what we are saying is that we must not relent. We must not relent on this resistance. And really we appreciate also, na karibu sana Mheshimiwa Kalonzo Musyoka, and we are so humbled. And we are very happy for you giving us this opportunity to share with you our view. So what we are saying is that our demands are here. Now our demand is demand for people's march to State House. It might be protracted struggle. And we are requesting, as we continue with the struggle, in Sabasaba of his year, which Baba will be that 1 year since you entered Kamkunji ground. The Sabasaba of this year, we form a people's government. This fellow, they have gone to the money market, as somebody was speaking yesterday. They went to the money market. They were looking only 200 billion. Now wakaambia sisi wetuwezi wakopesha. So there is no government here. So Baba, don't allow the people who are telling you, tell them I can't leave my people in the wilderness. Azimio letu la kufika Canaan, azimio tufike. Kama tutatembea mguu hadi State House, pale tutaunda serikali ya Wakenya, kila mtu apate maji, afya, elimu, tufike hapo. Na for electoral justice, the parliamentary, we also agree, as it happened before, here in Ufungamano, and many years, and religious people have spoken, and some were saying that, who say that the only parliament knows the solution of this country. So we demand, and I have seen Boni Karua saying, asking you ati, sasa kama mulikuwa mnatuita si hold hizo, muache hizo meetings town hall. Why are they fearing? So we need to tell Boni Karua, and Sheikh Ngao amekuwa hapa na kina Boni. Mwambie, he should not forget where he has come from. Yeah? Tumemkampenia huko akiwa ordinary person, daktari wa kawaida. Yeah? Tumefanya protest na huko kila mara. So asisahau kule ametoka. Now our young people, I'm telling you, let's read Baba's books, history, and where we are coming from. Because the problem we are having is that we don't go and read Baba's books and no. Just hata kubare Jaramogi Odinga, it was a great struggle. The state had refused them. It had refused them. Hata kiwanja Uhuru Park hapa, 1994, they were denied. Just imagine. So Baba, we are so happy, and don't give up. We are behind you, and we will die for you. And those who are thinking that we totally fika Canaan, they need to know that even Canaan safari will go 40 years. So our demands we will give you, and I hope Baba you give Mwango area and our people from Central Province. I don't know why atuja interact hata kidogo, but very many people from the Luo nation everywhere, we have been with them. Although Mwango area, I saw you coming with young people about tumewamenta kidogo. So I think we should get young people who have been confused by these people who hijack democracy, so that we articulate this issue. And also make sure that the voices like yourself that have been the voice of unifying this country have an opportunity to speak and articulate this vision. And what we can say is then we are together and we build a broad-based front, a broad-based front that can carry a social force that can make sure that even if it means that, because sovereignty of people from our constitution come from the people, the power is delegated. We can withdraw that power and make sure we form a government of the people. But don't do it our country to self-destruct. That's our humble submission. And social justice movement is shaping up, and we are following your footsteps. And after reaching Canaan, for sure I promise you, after reaching Canaan with Baba, for sure, you know, the history will be on our side. Viva Baba, viva!
Viva!
Long live Baba, long live!
Long live!
Forward with Azimio, forward!
Forward!
Forward with electoral justice, forward!
Forward!
Forward with State House, march forward!
Forward!
Thank you very much, and I hope we'll continue this struggle.
Asante sana. Asante sana. Now, you know I'm one of in civil society, citizen formations, and movements. The reason why we gave our brother Gasheke uninterrupted submissions based on three things. One, he was speaking for himself. He was speaking for the social justice centers across the country. But he was also speaking for the millions of Kenyan young people, young men and young women who are suffering in this nation and who are targets of state violence. So, those who will come after him, please be more precise, more concise, and remember, I'm not trying to censor your time. Remember, we have limited time, and I'm sure many people would want to say things that Baba and the leadership can listen to. Mheshimiwa Kalonzo, welcome kabisa. We are in a session now listening. Leaders, as you instructed us, we are to talk and you listen so that then we can take this movement and this struggle forward. The next person I'm calling is Minokia, Social Justice Traveling Theatre. This, hapo, this is a long tradition of performance and interacting with people, and the Social Justice Traveling Theatre is paving new ground every single day. Welcome, welcome, daughter, welcome. You can use, oh, you have a mic. Go ahead. You want to use this one? Yeah. Okay.
More power to the people, more power. More power. I hear that far, please. Upper AV auditorium is very historical. So more power to the people, more power. More power to more power. More power to Azimio, more power. Yeah, it's usually very hard to speak after Gasheke, but I will just focus on one thing, which is Article 43 of the Constitution, which I understand very well that Baba na Mama hapa wali play a very key role to make sure that we have that Constitution. So we as young people, we call upon the implementation of Article 43 of the Kenyan Constitution. Kwa sababu hiyo Article 43 ndio inatupea right to food. Na sisi ukweli wa Kenya wa mashinani tuko njaa. I come from Mukuru kwa Jenga where the last demo... I didn't even introduce myself. My name is Minocha. I come from Mukuru kwa Jenga where the last demonstration took place. Now ukweli, you can tell from the crowd of people that ukweli watu wako njaa. So demonstrations were of course tunafaa tukuwe na employment. Me, I live very near in industrial area, and I can tell you 80% of the youths in Mukuru kwa Jenga are unemployed. So this kind of idleness ina cause drugs, and this kind of drugs inaenda kwa crime. Na tukiona kwa crime, these people now start shooting us, which is, of course, I do not advocate for crime in any way, but what is the root cause of all things that are happening huku hivi mashinani? It is kind of poverty that is improvised by the state to cause this kind of poverty. So we want to say that what Azimio is doing is very great in terms of calling upon these people to be accountable. Na hizi vitu zenye walifanya campaigns nazo wakituambia watatupea na hawakutupatia. We as young people are dying huku mtaani. We as young people, manze, watu wa young huku mtaani wanateseka na wanateseka vibaya sana. If you go to these slums, you will see the kind of idleness and ina happen huku mtaani kila siku. Watu hawana employment, watu hawana vitu za kufanya. So we want to say that the government has to implement these things, because sisi tumechoka ukweli, and we will march to that state house and take power, because we are tired as young people and we have to take power. And just as I finish, I want to say that tuungane mkono pamoja, tuunge watu wa mashinani pia mkono, kwa sababu isikuwa tu ni demonstration peke yake ndio tunaungana mkono peke yake. Tukicall upon hizi dialogues zenye tuna address issues za police brutality, issues za extrajudicial killings, can you be with us and can you hold our hand? And just to finish with, as a woman, I want to say pia wamama wa mashinani, wamechoka, because every time that our kids are getting killed, it comes back to us kama wamama. When our kids wanaenda kwa drugs, it comes back to us kama wamama. When it is crime, it comes back kama wamama. So sisi wamama pia tumechoka. Na ukweli wamama wa hii country tukiamua kuungana na mayouth, tutaingia kwa hiyo State House and we will take power, because we are tired. We are very tired. Viva comrades, viva! More power to the people, more power.
Fire! Vijana power! Our daughter and our young sister has taken half the time Ndugu Gasheke took. So that is a trend. Concentrate, focus, discipline, preciseness. The next I'm calling, I'm not saying these things because I'm anticipating he'll take long. I'm sure he'll take preciseness. Kama mtu anapicha hapo, kamera apige kabisa. Mama na daughter, baba na binti yake. Kelvin Okoth, Gaucho, bunge la wananchi. Vijana power!
Okay. Vijana power. Okay, kwa political class, Baba Raila Odinga, Kalonzo Musyoka, Martha Karua na comrades ambao wamefika hapa. Kwa majina ni Calvin Okoth, bunge president ama ghetto president Kenya mzima. Kwa niaba ya wanabunge, wanabunge wana kesi. Baba, hii constitution lazima tutembele. Lakini ya mwisho, mimi nashukuru nyinyi kwa kurecognize bunge la wananchi na kurecognize wanageto. Ni ile tu kwa hiyo committee ndio tulikuwa na shida. But Baba, tuko ready kuendelea na maandamano mpaka wale wanakufa. Hata wewe wakati uliwekwa ndani kwa sababu hii freedom ambayo tumepata leo. Wengine walikufa, wengine walipata, wakina Matiba walikufa kama ni mazuzu, hawezi jua kitendelea. Baba, vijana wamekubali, wacha wale wanakufa wakufe, waache kutuambia eti kwa nini Raila anataka tu damu. Raila hataki damu, wananchi ndio wanataka damu ili tupate haki. Ni kweli si kweli? So Baba, mazungumzo ya leo, on Sunday tumesikia tuko Kamkunji. Tunajua agenda ambayo iko ni ya kwamba kuanzia Monday leo na heshima ini. Najua Baba, wewe ni mjanja, wewe ni mjela, wewe ni mkora, hutaki vitu zingine kuonyesha. Umepea Waislamu haki yao, ndio maana Waislamu wa hivi tunaanza kutoka Monday to Sunday. Asanteni na Mungu awabariki. Nikimalizia na salamia Makolonde ambao tulikuwa nayo ndani na ndugu yangu Okano, sisi tulikuwa na jiita G3. Asanteni na Mungu awabariki.
Gaucho pia mjanja. Gaucho anachukua ujanja, anasema fanya jinga. Sisi tumeambiwa wajinga tufanye mambo mawili. La kwanza, Mwalimu Nyerere alisema baina ya mjinga na mpumbavu. La pili, there was a time, mainly young people can hear me. Young people, there was a time, if you call yourself president in Kenya, you'll be detained without trial. So next, I'm going to call Sheikh Ibrahim Lithome here. He had given apologies. If he's not here, can I call Ibrahim Yongo? Ibrahim, are you here? Yes, tafadhali. Alafu baada yake atakuja Dr. Devji Atela, KPMDU, Dr. Wesonga Uwasu, Bwana Manyara, and then dada yetu Ruth Mumbi. So as you come, brother, Now let's be very precise.
Shukran. Nachukua fursa hii kushukuru kila mmoja wetu ambaye amefika hapa. Kwa majina naitwa Ibrahim Yongo. Mimi ni kiongozi mashinani, chairman wa Mtindo wa Welfare Association, ikiwa ni sehemu ya kufanya biashara kule Makarara constituency. Yangu ni machache na ni observation ambayo nimekuwa nikifuatilia nikijaribu kuangalia jinsi tunavyoendelea na hizi harakati zetu. Na tunafahamu vizuri mambo yalivyoenda mpaka pale tumefika. Tunatafuta way forward. Lakini katika hii way forward pia tukiangalia kwa makini, sisi tunapigana tukijua target ni nini. Na tunatafuta mbinu, ima mbinu iko na tunajua viongozi wetu wanajua end game ni nini. Kwa hivyo wengine wetu viongozi mashinani, tunafuata viongozi wetu tukijua kwa kwamba wanatuelekeza katika mstari iliyo sawa. Lakini sisi mashinani pia tukiwa kule tunaangalia zile ambazo zinaendelea katika nyanja za juu, lazima tufanye observation na tuangalie na tukosoe pungufu ile tuko nayo na tuzirekebishe. Sehemu ambayo kuna upungufu na sisi tutoe maoni ni vipi zitaimarishwa. La kwanza, toka tumalize uchaguzi tunajua koti ilivyotufanyia ubakaji na tukakubali. Lakini nafasi ilipopeanwa kwa wale viongozi ambao sasa wako mamlakani kuendesha nchi, ni dhahiri kuwa kwamba hii shughuli hawakujiandaa vizuri. Na mpaka leo kwa kweli ukiangalia mazungumzo ya viongozi inaonyesha kuwa kwamba hawakujiandaa ama ujuzi na mbinu ujanja kuendesha taifa hamna. Kwa hivyo nafasi ipo bado ya kurekebisha mambo. Lakini je, sisi kama option ambayo itakuwa ni fallback ya mwananchi, uongozi wetu kidogo upungufu iko wapi na itarekebishwa vipi? Mimi kwa mtazamo wangu nikijaribu kuangalia jinsi tunavyopigana vita kule hewani, hapa namaanisha kupitia vyombo vya habari, magazetini, redioni na hata kwenye televisheni. Kwa kweli kikosi chetu ina upungufu ya watu wa kurusha marasharasha. Kwa mfano, kwa kipindi cha siku 2-3 makamu wa rais amekuwa akitushambulia sana na anashambulia viongozi wetu wakuu. Imefika kiwango cha makamu wa rais anauliza taifa ama anaeleza taifa, yeye anazungumza kama makamu wa rais ambaye ilichaguliwa, lakini hana muda ya kuzungumza na Raila Odinga. Mpaka anatuuliza Raila Odinga ni nani, yeye anazungumza kama nani. Tumefika hapo. Je, ukijaribu kuangalia tajriba ya makamu wa rais na mheshimiwa Raila Odinga, His Excellency, hapo kuna comparison kweli? Hakuna nafasi kama hiyo. Je, kwa nini ichukue kipindi cha wiki mzima? Mheshimiwa rais amekosewa heshima hapo. Sisi wanarasharasha wetu, nikisema wanarasharasha wetu namaanisha foot soldiers wetu wa kumachi Gachagua wako wapi? Viongozi wetu wako wapi wa kubishana na Gachagua? Kwa sababu kiwango cha Karua na mheshimiwa Raila Odinga si kiwango cha Gachagua. Na wakati mzee ataenda kurespond kwa Gachagua inamaanisha tumeshusha hadhi ya mzee. So tunauliza. Na mimi siko hapa kukosea watu heshima, isipokuwa kwa observation yangu ni kuwa our communication sector ama communication system iko na upungufu. Na inatakiwa ikiwa leo Gachagua ama Ichungwa atasimama aongee na aongee ujinga na upuzi alivyoongea, jua lisitue kabla tujapata mtu wa kumjibu moja kwa moja. Hii ni observation ya kwanza. Kwa hivyo nikimalizia nukta hilo, ningetaka kuomba communication team ya Azimio, tafadhalini marisheni kikosi chenu. Na mimi nachukua fursa hii mama na kuuliza moja kwa moja, ningeomba nafasi katika hiyo sekta. Mimi niwepo, matches tuko na the best team, lakini there's always a chance for improvement. Na tusidharauliane hapa, mzuri sione kama amekosewa heshima, isipokuwa kuna nafasi na kuna haja ya kuimarisha hicho kikosi. Ndio kusudi tukirishiwa kombora ni sisi tunarusha kombora, tusirishiwe kombora inafika wiki mzima kama hiyo agenda ambayo tulirushiwa na ni uongo mtufu, sisi hatuja respond, inakuwa ni ukweli. Na sisi tunajua vizuri wale mabwana ni wazuri sana kwa kuweka propaganda. La mwisho nilisema natoka kwa mfupi kwa kusema, tafadhali, tunajua vizuri vuguvugu ambayo inaendelea kwa saizi ama harakati ambayo inaendelea kwa saizi, tunajua inaweza fika kiwango ya kuwa kwamba utarudi uchaguzi ama sisi tupewe serikali. Lakini ndio tufikie hapo. Je, tutakuwa tumemwandaa mwananchi kwa njia gani? Mwananchi ataandaliwa kwa njia gani? Kwa sababu kumbuka, wenye tunapinzana nao ni watu wajanja sana na ni wakora sana kwa propaganda na maandalizi ya mashinani. Tunavyozungumza saizi chama cha Kenya kwisha tayari wako na mikakati kupitia hii kofa zao ambao wanaita ni hustler funds. Nimekwambia mimi ni kiongozi mashinani, na kwenye sehemu mimi naongoza leo kuna watu wao, maagents wao wanakuja kutoka sehemu yangu ya soko, na wanakuja na ajenda moja. Kunayo mbinu ambayo imeshazinduliwa upya ambayo inakuja kuhamasisha watu mashinani kwa kwamba kuna fedha katika hiyo coffers ya hustler fund, lakini sasa ina target vikundi ambazo ziko tayari ziko registered, na tunajua vizuri vile vikundi ziko registered mashinani ama mtaani ziko kwa wingi sana. Sasa lengo lao ni kwenda kumarisha zile vikundi, zinapewa nafasi na zinaelezewa kila kikundi ifanye recruitment ya watu ejapo 50. Kisha kuna mapeni ambao watapewa moja kwa moja, wanaform kama sako hivi. Kisha wanapewa pesa pale ya wao kukopeshana wao kwa wao. Tayari hii ni mbinu janja ya kuingia na kukita mashinani, ambapo saa zile filimbi kitapulizwa tu hivi kwamba labda kuna uchaguzi na kuja, tayari wao watakuwa kuna maagents wao ambao kidogo ama kwa njia moja au nyingine wameimarishwa kikamilifu na kurushiwa macheche.
Asante sana Ibrahim. Lakini nawaomba mtu akipewa fursa aitumie vizuri na kwa ufupi, lakini asante sana ndugu Ibrahim kwa mawazo yako. Dr. Atela, Dr. Wesonga. As Dr. Wesonga is coming, ndugu Manyara awe tayari au Majakos, Makajos. Alafu Rusi Mungu.
Thank you very much. His Excellency Raila Odinga, His Excellency President, my name is Constantine Wasonga, and I'm the Secretary General of the University Academic Staff Union. From the academy, we are supporting social justice. And we have one motto, that education liberates. We don't support injustice. So whenever you find a movement that fights for social justice, know that Wasonga is there. We have been given the data here. I don't want to agree with the data. I don't want to dispute the data, because you know I represent all the landed people here. Analysis of data falls under the domain of my members. I'm going to subject this data, interrogate it, then we'll give our position. So that I give a position from an informed position. And you know, once we get that this thing is right, we give our position whether you like it or not. Since independence, it is the first time that the government cannot pay its workers. And people think that it is a normal exercise. We are being told to tighten our belts. I want to say that as University Academic Staff Union, we shall not tighten our belts, because we pay taxes and we are not going to beg to be paid. We are going to demand to be paid. So whoever is thinking that they can tell academic staff to tighten their belts, we are not there. Today is 13th. Our members worked, and we don't know whether we are going to be paid or not. You know, initially, the middle class thought that the cost of living was just high for the poor. Now they have gone to the middle class. So it is upon the middle class to stand up and speak, because we are heading in the wrong direction. never imagined that a government can say that they cannot pay their workers. A government is telling workers to tighten their belts, and unionists are not talking. Don't count me there, I'm not there. I am with the people. And once we will stand with the people, and we will not tighten our belts. A government that cannot pay our workers has no business being on the throne. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. He was speaking on behalf of all the academics and those who profess at the university. I would like to call now either Manyara or Makajos, and then Ruth Mumbi, either Canon Karanja or his representative Suba Churchill, and we finish with Kenneth Osido.
Comrades power! Comrades power! Comrades power! Comrades Ria! Comrades Ria! Your Excellency Raila Odinga, Mother Karua, Kalonzo Musyoka, viongozi wote wa Azimio. Mimi naitwa Anthony Manyara, the President Kenya University Students Organization, also doubling as the President of East African Students Union. Mimi nimekuja hapa leo kuwakilisha wanafunzi wote wa all the universities in this country. Now, before I even make a few comments, let me recognize the student leaders with us here today, starting with my able deputy, Rachel Tabitha. Where are you? You just wave from wherever you are. If you're an elected student leader, tafadhali just wave from wherever you are. As you can see, Your Excellency, tuko na viongozi wote wa comrades hapa. Mimi nitaongea mambo machache sana. First of all, let me begin by saying that this government is to blame for very many problems that students are facing today. Jambo la kwanza ukiangalia mambo ya HELB. Last week but one, we had Kabianga University demonstrating. We had very many universities that have demonstrated sababu ya mambo ya HELB. Mimi baba nataka kukuomba sahi, ututengea hata kama ni Friday tuendelee na maandamano yetu as university students, mpaka tuhakikishe ya kwamba hiyo pesa imeachiliwa. We are not begging for our salaries. We are not begging for help. Help is a right for every student. I would like to summarize this by saying that you cannot pickpocket a naked man. Reason as to why we are saying this is because wanafunzi pale chuo kikuu wanakaanga panya, wanawinda ndege. These are students who are sleeping hungry. The government doesn't understand that wanafunzi wanainama. We are coming to a situation whereby students are killing themselves, students are committing suicide, sababu hakuna chakula pale shule. Number two, I'd like to tell this government that you have come with very many unsustainable policies. One of them is CBC. CBC is completely unsustainable. Why you come up with a program that you cannot be able to sustain it? Number three, Baba, we have the movement for the defense of democracy. Students have been in opposition since 1963. Saa hii tunataka kuomba hiyo bipartisan talks ambayo inafanyika, let youth leaders be part and parcel. Hata fadhali subcommittee itengenezwe kidogo hapo chini, so that young people can feel part and parcel of that process. Nikimalizia baba, nataka kusema ya kwamba movement for the defense of democracy, kuna wale watu walikuwa wameanza kutenti jina wakisema ati hawa watu sijui wamevaa berets, sijui wamevaa jeshi. Hawa ni vijana ambao wako at the forefront of fighting for the rights of many Kenyans who are the oppressed, who are the hoi polloi, who are the people down there. Hao ndio real hustlers. Hao watu ambao wanapiganiwa na hao vijana, they are the real hustlers. Na mimi ningetaka kusema baba, we thank you so much because you are the only person who has been withstanding injustice for a very long time. Ukiona university students on your side, it is because we are fighting for the right thing. Sisi tunataka kusimama kwa haki na ukweli. Mimi mwenyewe nikiwa Manyara, nilisema ya kwamba hakuna wakati nitapeleka wanafunzi wa vyuo vikuu kwa njia ambayo haifai. Sisi tumekandamizwa for a very long time. Since history, since time immemorial, this is the very first time that the government is neglecting university students. Wanafunzi hapa shule, they cannot survive. Jana nimeongea na CEO wa HELB, anaitwa Ringera. Ananiambia tafadhali ongea na CS Treasury. Nikijaribu kuongea na yeye ashiki simu. Kuatilia pesa 5.7 billion peke yake, is it a problem really to the government? Is it a problem? Ukiangalia the expenditure which is being used by State House, they're using billions on very extravagant issues. Wanaenda wananunua magari kubwa kubwa. Hiyo pesa inafaa kuatiliwa iende ipee hao wanafunzi waweze kuendelea na masomo yao. Finally, wacha nimalizie nikisema ya kwamba this government does not understand dialogue. This government does not understand dialogue, baba. Sisi tunataka kuomba tu turudishwe pale kwa street tena. Tafadhali declare, baba, declare. Kama venye my brother Kaucho wamesema hapo, we are very ready. Mimi I mobilize my troops. Kaucho mobilize bunge lake. Watu wengi hapa, tuko na hata wandai hapa mobilize pale wa bunge. Sisi wote tupatane place moja. We do a real march to State House. Ama namna gani? Nikimalizia baba, wacha nikushukuru sana sababu umesimama na wanafunzi for a very long time. We are very loyal. Tumesema ya kwamba njia tuko na wewe mpaka mwisho. Kama ni dialogue, hiyo side nyingine yetu ya dialogue, sisi tutasimama na wewe. Tumerealize ya kwamba wabunge wao wanasema wamepeana people who look like jokers kwa hiyo party yao ya bipartisan. We are telling Dr. RUTO, tafadhali review your team. Let us serious faces. Hata kusema ati tuende tukaongee na Kimani Gichungwa. Who is Kimani Gichungwa? We are supposed to reject those bipartisan talks until they bring serious faces on that team. Thank you so much.
Asante sana brother.
Namshukuru sana kiongozi wetu wa wanafunzi wa vyuo vikuu. Wale wanaokuja kuzungumza sasa ndio tunamalizia, ndio tuje kwenye plenary. Just hold on. Mimi I learned a great lesson when I went to Karachuonyo. Kule unasema Mogik, alafu unaendelea. Alafu unasema Mogik kabisa, alafu unaendelea. Alafu unasema Mogik kabisa. Sasa ukija hapa Mogik moja tu. Only one Mogik. Dada yetu Ruth. Dada Ruth Mumbi, Human Rights Defenders Network.
Viva na Kenya, viva na Kenya, viva na Kenya, viva na Kenya, oh viva, viva, viva na Kenya, viva na baba, viva na baba, viva na baba, oh viva, viva, viva na baba. Kwa majina mmesikia mimi ni Ruth Mombi, mwanaharakati mtetezi wa haki za kibinadamu, na mimi hapa leo niko na jambo tu mbili la kusema. Nilikuwa katika harakati ya kupigania na make sure ya kwamba.
And so we take note of processes such as the Kenya National Dialogue and Reconciliation processes of 2008 that raised issues. Four among those issues: constitutional and legal institutional reforms, land reforms, tackling poverty and inequality, tackling unemployment, especially among young people, and of course cross-cutting issues such as consolidating national cohesion and unity while addressing transparency, accountability, and impunity. As a network and an agency, we are convinced that the political process that we currently have, especially bordering on largely the reasons why we are here, focus on humiliating competitors, critics, and those who do not agree with the views, rather than building consensus and strategies for solving our country's issues. So we take note of progressive processes that have taken place to try and deal with some of those concerns, but we are also convinced that the people, the economy, eradication of suffering and promoting dignity are not a preserve of politics and therefore of governments. Progressive voices have to be given their place at those particular tables. And that is why, beyond the Agenda 4 issues, the three concerns that I've raised are concerns that are bedeviling Kenyans today. Consequently, and despite being detailed in past review processes, including the Kenya and NEPAD APRM process reports, the Justice Waki and Krigler commissions, the National Cohesion and Integration Commission reports, the Truth, Justice and Reconciliation Commission TJRC report that of course led to the 2007-2008 Kenya National Dialogue and Reconciliation process, the Vision 2030 document itself, and much more closely, we take note of progress and regress that were made in the 2017 Joint Parliamentary Select Committee. And one agenda that not so many of us have talked about here today is the Building Bridges to Unity process that was quashed by our courts. These, ladies and gentlemen, are opportunities that give us the privilege, therefore, to make progressive steps that give us platforms to be able to exercise progressive aspects that therefore address the conflicts and the challenges that Kenyans are facing. The second broad conceptual challenge that we submit to Azimio today is the increasing feeling of hopelessness among the citizenry due to being disempowered, and indeed the lack of organizing, lack of an objective and consistent voices among the citizen groups. Must it be the Right Honorable Raila Odinga who will stand between the injustices that Kenyans are facing and the progressive steps that Kenyans require from their governments? The answer is no. And therefore we are hoping that in all these additional processes that are being undertaken, including the latest, which is the bipartisan process, that this degree of helplessness that Kenyans are facing is going to be addressed, and that it is neither the Right Honorable Raila Odinga and his fellow leaders and the government, but that Kenyans will begin to have the conscious thinking and understanding that we have a responsibility that has been given to us by our Constitution to exercise certain sovereignty. Therefore, in finishing, what are our 6 proposals to Azimio and to the bipartisan committee? Number 1, we are proposing that we need to restructure the executive to dignify and institutionalize the opposition to perform its oversight role effectively within a presidential system. Now, this memorandum explains the pros and cons of a presidential system, the benefits that Kenya has been able to accrue between the presidential and even the parliamentary system that we enjoyed its stint a few years ago. The Constitution of Kenya, therefore, provides that elections, as Suba Churchill rightfully said, will be held every 5 years. But it also establishes an electoral management body, otherwise called the IEBC, Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. The mandate and the functions of that commission is to conduct free, fair, transparent and accountable elections for Kenyans. In exercise of that mandate, Kenyans vote for 6 positions that of course interest different contestants. Going by past electoral experiences, we have been told that winning the presidency means getting everything and losing everything if you lose and fail to become the president. This is happening both at the national level, regional levels, county levels. But even at an individual level, when you run for president, like the 4 candidates who ran for office and did not lose it, where do we take you to? What does that mean for us as a people? And therefore we are proposing that we need to begin to have a conversation as candid as is possible to review this structure that therefore will be able to open up certain spaces for us to be able to look at how we can be able to strengthen accountability, transparency, and indeed integrity of various agencies. The second issue that we are raising, devolution. So strengthening devolution, institutional performance, and governance. We have seen, and as a network, we have undertaken an analysis of the promises that were made by both Azimio la Umoja and also Kenya Kwanza on devolution and the benefits that would be that would accrue to Kenyans with this. We are sorry to say that Kenya Kwanza government has failed to live by the dreams of Kenyans and the prospects that have been given to us through the Constitution of Kenya insofar as devolution is concerned. And therefore we are proposing that, 1, funds that have been contained by the national government that are supposed to go to county governments be released, and that the bipartisan process that has been proposed begins to have a candid conversation around how we can be able to forestall the challenges that come with the division of revenue allocation. This goes beyond just Parliament, but also looking at the various constitutional commissions and also the functions as are detailed in Schedule 4 function of Schedule 4 of our Constitution of Kenya that basically narrates the functions of both national and county governments. Why are we saying this? We say this because we have also noted a trend at which the national government, particularly the Kenya Kwanza government, is stifling devolution, not just because of judiciary mechanisms and concerns, but indeed even regaining and reclaiming functions that are supposed to be done by county governments, and they are currently being both financed and executed and implemented by national government. If we fail to do this, ladies and gentlemen, therefore what will happen? For the first time, as one of my former speakers has said, we are noticing a trend where public servants have not been paid. County governments, various service delivery sectors have actually threatened to go on strike. Are we saying that it is the demonstrations that are going to get us back to the drawing and talking table? The answer is both yes and no. Why? Because we have to exert pressure. So there are people who will exert that pressure. And we also have to have conversations that are progressive and transformational. As I head towards finishing, the third issue is bringing a closure to the 2017 and 2022 general elections and making elections credible, accountable, and acceptable. We are here because we have been given data. What does this data mean to you? And I want to echo the words of Suva Churchill because they are also indicated in this memorandum. Article 35 of the Constitution gives any citizen of the Republic of Kenya the right of access to information held by the state. If we fail to exercise that right and not waiting for Baba Mheshimiwa Right Honorable Raila Odinga, we want to see as many petitions to institutions of government pushing for opening up of the servers. It doesn't have to be Raila Odinga. As an individual, you can do a petition. As a network of family members, you can do a petition. And so beyond this meeting, I am requesting us to go out there and seek for petitions, letters, and questions that will ensure that if the server has the answer to what ails Kenya today, let the servers be opened. We have been told that there is no mechanism. There is a mechanism in Article 35. But if we fail to exercise that right, what will we be doing? Let's go back to the voter turnout of 2022 elections. More than 10 million plus people did not vote. Young people, particularly 8.4 million, didn't turn up to vote. If we fail to strengthen reasons as to why Kenyans go to an election, 2027 might not even attract a 34% voter turnout. Why? Because Kenyans will ask the question, what does my vote mean? And so we are also asking that question. What does waking up early in the morning mean to us? What does it mean to our government in office? Let us exercise our sovereign power, ladies and gentlemen, to push for implementation of Article 35 and Article 38 of the Constitution that gives power to people for universal suffrage on elections. Because failure to exercise that power, the young people of the generation that are following up to Mheshimiwa Raila Odinga will not wake up to go and vote. That means that there may be no elections in 2027. Lastly, cost of living. How many of us have 100 shillings in our pockets? Kenyans are crying. We want food. And it is the responsibility of any government that calls itself a caring government to provide mechanisms, stable environments, and opportunities for people of all cadre, whether elders, young people, persons with disability, the youth, women, children, to find food to eat. Children want to go to school. We are asking the government to exercise its power to make cost of living affordable, achievable for the majority of Kenyans. I thank you so much for listening to me on behalf of the people who sent me here. God bless you, God bless Kenya, and God bless Azimio. Asanteni.
Thank you very much, Kevin. I was not rushing him, but because Kevin has a written memorandum, I'm sure we'll be happy to receive the memorandum and process it, but continue to engage with you and your national network. Now, we have come to the end. Is there a representative of MDD here? Oh, he's here. We were waiting. We said we are going to give you the last loud intervention at this stage because you are on the front line of Mapambano. Karibu.
Freedom, my people, freedom. Freedom, my people, freedom. You know, my name's Eliud Opan. And as Malcolm X says, by every means necessary. I operate closely with MDD, but I'm the chairman of the Ordinary People's Movement. And I had to take this chance, and for sure you cannot now stop me. During the French Revolution, one Jean said, when the poor will be left with nothing more to eat, they will come for the rich. As the ordinary, we've come this close, I can assure you. And I want to tell you, with Baba being our general, as the ordinary citizens, this is what the ordinary people are saying. We took note when you were told negotiations were commencing. Baba, that very week, Dr. RUTO called you my brother. The second week, his deputy, without chills, called you ordinary. Baba, if you're not going to let us go to the streets as you continue with the negotiations, what will they do the third week? I can tell you, Baba, the ordinary people want to be in the streets because that is the only platform we have a chance to enjoy our rights. And I want to remind everybody, and this is biblical, in Galatians 6:9, for those of us who are in struggle and at times get weary, Galatians 6:9 reminds you, don't be weary of doing good, for in the right time and in due time, if you don't give up, you will assuredly get the reward. God bless you very much. And may God take care of you and part of you as we go through our struggle. Thank you.
Asante sana. Sasa, to finish that, we need to appreciate them with that manyunyu kidogo. So quickly, manyunyu. Moshi. Manyunyu yamekuwa mvua. Mvua hiyo inaongezeka. Nyingi sana. Radi! Asanteni sana. Now, with your kind permission, we are going to request His Excellency Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka to make a few comments
Kwanza kushukuru baba kwa yale amefanyia hii nchi. Nakumbuka wakati mmoja 1989 nilikuwa nafanya kazi pahali kunaitwa Comcraft. Baba nikienda kazini alikuwa natoka hapo kwa Ministry of Foreign Affairs asubuhi mapema, tukaweviana hivi haja kama hakuwa ananijua. Alafu jioni alikuwa naenda ofisi pale Ajip. Jioni wakati nilienda nyumbani kufungua KBC, nikasikia mtoto wa Raila Odinga amewekwa kizuizini na imesainiwa na mtu alikuwa anaitwa Cabinet Justice Oletipes. Sasa tangu wakati huo mimi nimesimama na baba na nimekuwa nikimfuatilia. Nimekuwa nikipigwa na watu nikiwaambia hata 2013 mimi natoka Udhaya, na nataka kuambia wana youth haza nyinyi, Kimathi wakati alienda msituni alikuwa in his 20 years, na nyinyi sasa baba anataka kumkabidhi hii nchi, na tukimfuata kwa sababu hako na maono ya nchi, na kuambia tutatoboa. Youth mujikakamue, tufuate baba, na najua ako na maono mazuri kwa nchi yetu, na niko na furaha kwa kuona Wairia na ndugu yangu Kioni. Hawa wametoka from their comfort zone, na sisi tumesema pia tutawafuata kwa sababu tumeona yale mambo inaendelea katika hii nchi ni ya kutendanisha. Umasikini ile iko hapa nchini na unaona watu hawajali. Yaani juzi niliambia mtu hii mambo ya sijui courage ni Kikuyu chauvinism in politics itaisha, na itaisha kama tunafuata bamba wakiwa na mother, kwa sababu nchi inaweza haribika. Tuko tayari katika hali mbaya kabisa, lakini tukitoka Wairia na sasa nafurahi kwa sababu nilikuwa na shida uko wapi, lakini sasa umejitokeza, na kwa hivyo sisi tuko kwa laini hiyo, na wasihi nyinyi tafadhali tufuate baba, na najua hako na maono mazuri kwa hii nchi.
Asante sana mzee.
Asante sana. People's power. People's power. Our people united shall never be defeated. Turundie hiyo, our people united shall never be defeated.
Ya mwisho, hapa hakuna mtu mwoga. Hapa hakuna mtu mwoga. Sasa hivi tena nasikia wamefukuza mama ambaye ni wa jamii yetu kutoka Western, DG wetu wa NYS, Madam Sakwa. Mama Asha Juma amemfukuza kazi saa hii asubuhi kwa sababu alikataa kufanya mambo ya deal yake ya kufanya tendering. Wamefukuza huyo Mluya mama, na Waluya wako huko kubwa wako huko Kenya kwanza wamenyamaza. Na wao ni mambo yetu. Mluya amefukuzwa kutoka Vihiga County. Tunasema watufukuze wasitufukuze, tunangoja baba kwa president atuteue tena. Na sisi tunajua kwa Mwenyezi Mungu baba atafika mahali anataka kuwa. Na mtu mwoga hapa aende kwao.
Asante.
Baba, kuna wajumbe, nikimaliza, wajumbe wana heshima na adabu, hata wa ODM. Saa zile uko mahali wanakuja kujipendekeza. Saa maandamano wanajificha. Maandamano kisha wanakufuata. Kama ni maandamano, iwe maandamano. Tukiongozwa na nani? Na Wandai. Tunaona kila mtu. Wandai weka register. Ndio hata siku nomination wapewe wale wamefanya kazi. Kuna wajumbe huko vile umesikia kama Langata ameenda, game ameenda, si wapi ameenda. Baba, rudisha makucha yako. Fukuza watu kwa chama, toa watu kwa chama,
tuende by election. Mimi niko tayari kuandika hiyo barua hata kama sina cheo kubwa kwa ODM. Mungu awabariki.
Haya, asante sana, asante sana.
Wakenya hoye! Wakenya hoye! Baba na Mama Martha, viongozi wetu, itifaki zote zikiangaliwa, ndugu zangu, mimi nataka kusema kitu kimoja tu, ya kwamba imefika wakati sasa ni lazima hii serikali ya Kenya Kwanza ianguke. Hawana njia yoyote ya kufanya kisheria kuweza kuchukua yule mbunge mmoja ambaye sisi tuko naye pande hii, akiwa ni mbunge wa Jubilee, na Jubilee kama mnavyojua iko ndani ya Azimio. Hivi sasa wanaanza kuchukua watu wetu wakisema kwamba wanaweka kwao ili waweze kufanya lile jopo la wale wabunge ambao tumechagua, saba upande huu, saba upande huu. Mnaweza kuona kijana ama mtu anaitwa Eden Keinan. Mheshimiwa Eden Keinan, yeye ni mfuasi wa Jubilee. Kwa hiyo yeye yuko chini ya Kioni. Na ni makosa sana na ukosefu wa sheria ikiwa mnaweza kuchukua mbunge ambaye yuko pande huu alafu mkamchukua mkasema yuko pande wenu. Kwa hiyo baba, sisi tunasema equity ambao ni sheria inasema, if you want equity to come to you, if you want equity to help you, you must come with clean hands. Na tayari katika hili jopo ambalo tumefanya baba, la wale watu ambao ni waheshimiwa ndani ya bunge, saba upande huu wa Azimio na saba upande wa Kenya Kwanza, mimi ninaona nia hiyo haiko. Wao hawako tayari kwa msururu huu wa kwamba tunaweza kuongea kwa lugha ambayo tutaelewana. Lugha ambayo Kenya Kwanza inaweza kuelewa ni maandamano peke yake, hakuna lugha nyingine. Kwa hiyo sisi hakuna kurudi nyuma, hakuna kuogopa. Baba akisema tuende right, tutaenda right. Akisema tuende left, tutaenda left. Mimi nasema njia moja tu moja. Wewe kama mwanaume, wewe kama mwanamke, wewe kama kiumbe cha Mwenyezi Mungu, ulizaliwa siku moja. Na mwezi huu ni mwezi mtukufu, mwezi wa Ramadhani. Ujue siku moja utakufa. Lakini hii nchi ya Kenya itaendelea. Kwa hiyo tunasema ya kwamba hii nchi ya Kenya ni muhimu kuliko mtu yoyote, ni kubwa kuliko hata RUTO mwenyewe. Kwa hiyo sisi hatutaogopa mtu yoyote. Baba, tuko tayari.
Mmemsikiza kwa makini sana wale wabunge wenye kamiti ya negotiations ukiongozwa na Otiende Amolo, walikuwa hapa wote, lakini wameenda nje kidogo. La mwisho, Senator wa Migori Mheshimiwa Eddie Okech, asante sana. Watu wanitambue, former DG wa Nyeri, tena kiongozi wa wanawake wa Azimio Mheshimiwa Daktari Karugu, asante sana. Waziri Eugene Wamalwa, sasa nitakukabidhi hii microphone uendelee na ratiba. Asante sana. May God bless you.
Asante sana. Wanaazimio hamjambo, civil society hamjambo, comrades power. Asanteni sana comrades kutukaribisha hapa. Mimi nilikuwa comrade hapa miaka mingi kidogo iliyopita, na nilikuwa naambia baba, wakati nilikuwa mwanafunzi hapa, nilikuwa nakaa Mamlaka Hall, wale tulikuwa wanasheria, engineers tulikuwa pale, na kila mara tulisikia Jaramogi anakuja hapa, Masinde Muliro, Martin Shikuku, na wengi waliokuwa wanapigania uhuru wa pili, kukiwemo Young Turks wakati huo, kina Raila, kina Orengo. Tulikuwa tunakuja hapa kuwasikiza, lakini pia walikuwa wanatusikiza. Na leo nashukuru sana Odoro Ngwen, Zain, kuhakikisha wenye boma hili comrades wamepewa nafasi wawe nasi siku ya leo, sababu hawa ndio tunapigania Kenya ijayo, Kenya iliyoko sasa. Tumewasikiza siku ya leo. Kazi yetu leo ilikuwa ni kuwasikiza ninyi. Na zaidi najua hapa mnataka msikize baba na mama. Mumechoka sana kukaa masaa mengi hapa. Lakini kabla sijaleta baba na mama, kuna viongozi wachache naomba mtupe dakika chache tu wasalimu. Alafu tulete mama, atuletee baba. Mnatupa hiyo ruhusa? So wengi wamekuwa wanasema ati mlima Kenya hauko na baba, ati baba alishindwa kupanda mlima. Hapa tuna viongozi kutoka mlima Kenya. Nimemsikiza kwa makini sana.
Resist any form of oppression, and we want to make sure that this nation becomes a nation that we are proud of, a nation that we can bequeath the children and generations that will come behind us. And therefore, Baba, mine is to encourage you. Tuko nyuma yako. We always have been. I think the numbers have shown that we have been behind you.
Tukimani Ichung'wah and his team, Raila Odinga and Azimio team, from Sunday in Kamukunji, will go back to the people of Kenya to deal with William Samoei Ruto. So we'll go on, and I want to thank you for urging us to go on with the engagement of the people of Kenya, as we did the consultations. And it behoves us now at this stage of the talks to go back to the people of Kenya to brief them where we have come from, where we are, and where we want to go. So we agree with you, and we'll walk this journey together. Lastly, we want to say those who are saying they cannot bring the issue of the server on the table. What we have been shown in Ufungamano today convinces me more than ever that indeed Raila Odinga won this election, but he was denied victory. And if Gachagua, I heard Wetangula, I heard Mudavadi and Ruto himself saying that the only way he can sit with Raila Odinga is if he recognizes the legitimacy of his presidency and his government. Today from Ufungamano, we want to say this, that legitimacy is not Raila's to give Ruto. That legitimacy can only be given the day the server is opened. I believe that's going to be one of our resolutions. And if he wants the recognition and legitimacy from the rest of Kenya, because so far he's a minority leader. Leaders have said he was elected by only a third of the electorate of Kenya. The silent majority is not with him. His legitimacy is in question until the day those servers are opened. So starting December Mengi, I want to agree with Churchill as he comes. The issue of Article 35 of our Constitution remains alive, and Kenyans have the right to ask for that information. Smartmatics refused to open the servers. They wrote a letter. We still have it. So those who are saying you opened the server, you know what Smartmatics your friends did. If you are smart enough, tell your Smartmatic friends to open the server. Story hii kwishe. Suba Churchill, Karibu, read us the resolutions. Then we'll bring our two leaders to speak to us. Karibu sana.
Thank you very much. I'll take us through the resolutions of this kikao that we have had. Resolutions of the consultative forum held at Fungamano House on the 13th day of April 2023. It is numbered number 1 all the way to number 13, perhaps to coincide with the date. On the consultative meeting held on the 13th April 2023 at Fungamano House, the participants appreciated the citizens, civil society, faith community represented. It is a constitutional expedition. The last one, which is number 13. Resist any form of oppression. And we want to make sure that this nation becomes a nation that we are proud of, a nation that we can bequeath the children and generations that will come behind us. And therefore, Baba,
Mine is to encourage you. Tuko nyuma yako. We always have been. I think the numbers have shown that we have been behind you. We will continue to support you. And all I can say is, aluta continua. Thank you.
Asante sana. Tumesikia kutoka kwa Gachagua kule Nyeri, Gachiedha. Uko Nyeri, si ndio? Sasa tunataka twende kwa Ndindi Nyoro kule Murang'a. Na yule nawaletea sasa ni yule aliyekuwa gavana wa Murang'a, lakini pia ni party leader wa party ya Usawa. Chama ambacho kinapigania usawa, wa Kenya wote wawe sawa, sio Kenya ya a few shareholders. Tuko pamoja? Naye anaitwa Mwangi wa Iria. Karibu, Your Excellency Governor.
Asante sana, Your Excellency, na kudi yote hapa ya mageuzi. Nimesikia watu wakisema, wakiuliza nilikuwa wapi. Mimi nilijitokezea mapema sana. If there is somebody who understands electoral justice, it is me. Wakati tulikuwa tunajitokeza kugombea viti, I contested or I attempted to contest for presidency. Vile huyo mwanamume alinionyesha, nyinyi mnajua. Tulipambana na yeye kule Bomas, hata hamkukuja wakati huo. Mimi nilikuwa nakula tear gas peke yangu nikipambana na Chebukati. Alinifungia gate, tukaleta watu hapo, tukatwangana, hiyo ikaisha. Na nikasema kitu kimoja, wakati huu mmeniachilia, wakati wenu ukifika, huyu jamaa atampatia dawa. It came to pass. Kwa hivyo mimi nimekuwa na nyinyi, lakini nilistuka kidogo wakati nilijitokeza na nikakosa kuungwa mkono hata kidogo. Nikauliza, kwani iko nini? Ya pili, hii mambo ya bei ya unga. Wakati wa kampeni za uchaguzi, ni mimi peke yake ambaye alizunguka town ya Nairobi. Tulikuwa na wewe na pakiti ya unga. Nilizunguka nikijaribu kumwambia jitokezeni tupambane na hii mambo. Nikazunguka siku mzima kuanzia asubuhi mpaka jioni, nikiwa na pakiti ya unga kama mwadawazimu. Hakuna yeyote ambaye alijitokezea, lakini baadaye unga ikawa 100. Kwa hivyo ukiuliza nilikuwa wapi, ujue ya kwamba mimi nilikutangulia. Hiyo nyingine ni kwamba nikisikiza ile maneno ambayo tumeongea leo na zile figures ambazo zimewekwa hapa, I can only summarize that process in one word: treason. Na mambo treasonable, watu hawaongei wakicheka. Those documents, those IBC documents, actually seditious documents. It's about treason. And it was being engineered through foreign companies, foreign powers. So, Mheshimiwa Raila Odinga, that was treason. We deal with it the way we can deal with treasonable matters. Number 2, we are entertaining a company called what? Smartmatics. How can a foreign limited company come and mess with our sovereignty as we keep quiet? That's a company which is registered in one of the presumably friendly nations. I think it's registered in Netherlands. What are we doing with our diplomatic relationships with the Netherlands? We should call them out. We should be severely our relationship with Netherlands. As we demonstrate, we should be demonstrating against them. Then there are nations which are involved. What I'm saying is that we should sphere our diplomatic ties with them. Hiyo nyingine inatoka kwetu katika Central Kenya. The Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya have officially announced that Kenya is a limited liability company. And we are all laughing aloud and clapping aloud. That is a very, 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 very serious position. That is the philosophy of this government, that Kenya is a limited liability company. We were a company in 1888, Imperial British East African Company, and the MD was Mackinnon. So we are being taken back there. What he means is that all state legacies and benefits which are supposed to accrue are only supposed to accrue to supporters or to those people who voted for Kenya Kwanza. 14 million Kenyans didn't vote for Kenya Kwanza because it's only 7 million who voted for Kenya Kwanza and 7 million or so for Azimio. 7 million didn't vote, 7 million didn't vote for Kenya Kwanza. That means that 14 million Kenyans are not shareholders. And that is an official statement by this government. What are we discussing? We are supposed to call upon wale ambao si wana hisa for us to demand our share. And that's very simple. That's so simple. Wale ambao si wana hisa tujisajili na wao wapeane their share certificates, tupambane huko nje. Lastly, nikimaliza, mnasema Central Kenya ni kama hawaguziki kwa maandamano. Hiyo si kweli. Sisi kwanza huangalia, na madha anajua. Tumepeana muda karibu wa mwaka mmoja. Kuna ile ambao tulielezewa na tukaweka kula. Watu wa Central ikasemekana, although figures are showing differently, wakaweka kula. Bei ya kahawa, bei ya majani chai, na bei ya maziwa, bei ya mchele, bei ya milaa, na mambo mingi sana sisi ni wakulima. Hiyo mambo yote hakuna mtu anaongeleza. Sasa tukiuliza kitu tunaabua ati huyu ni mwenda wazimu. Central Kenya sasa mahubiri kila siku ni ati Raila Odinga ni mwenda wazimu. Ile story wamesema kwa miaka wamerudia ili watu wa Mount Kenya wamuone kama adui. Maandamano yetu inakuja. And me I personally lead it. Kuhusu bei ya kahawa, kuhusu bei ya majani chai, bei ya mkunga, wanabiashara wadogo. Maandamano yetu haiwezi kufanywa kama ya Nairobi. Wakulima wa kahawa zote tutajitokezea tuandamane kwa bei ya kahawa. Wakulima wa majani chai tutafanya hivyo. Wakulima wa maziwa tutafanya hivyo. Kwa sababu shinda ya kilimo cha Mount Kenya sio brokers, ni kodi. Ile kodi ambayo inawekwa kwa chai ndio imefanya bei ya chai iende chini kwa mkulima. Kodi kwa kahawa na kodi kwa bidhaa. Hiyo kwanza iondolewe ili tuanze kudiscuss ama kujadiliana mambo ya brokers. Mimi sina mengi, mimi niko na nyinyi, lakini maandamano ya huko kwa mlima, sisi na wengi ambao wametiwa baridi na Deputy President, kwa sababu huko hakuna mtu anaongea. Jamaa ukiongea anatoa meno. Ukiongea anatoa meno. Sasa tumemwambia ukitoa meno as we are porcupines kama we ni maumau. Thank you very much.
Makofi kwa governor. Asante sana Governor Wairia. Sasa kutoka Nyandarua mumesikia matokeo hapa. Kuna pahala panaitwa Oljororok. Hapo ndio wizi ulitendeka kabisa. Na hapa tuko na ndugu Jeremiah Kioni ambaye pia ni Secretary General wa chama cha Jubilee na ambaye pia anawakilisha the fourth President of the Republic of Kenya, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Ndugu Kioni, karibu. And as you come, I want to agree with you and agree with Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka yale amesema hapa ya kwamba from the outset Kenya Kwanza have failed the taste ya good faith. They have Kimani Ichung'wah and his team. Raila Odinga and Azimio team from Sunday in Kamukunji will go back to the people of Kenya to deal with William Samoei Ruto. So we'll go on, and I want to thank you for urging us to go on with the engagement of the people of Kenya as we did the consultations. And it behoves us now at this stage of the talks to go back to the people of Kenya to brief them where we have come from, where we are, and where we want to go. So we agree with you, and we'll walk this journey together. Lastly, we want to say those who are saying they cannot bring the issue of the server on the table. What we have been shown in Ufungamano today convinces me more than ever that indeed Raila Odinga won this election, but he was denied victory. And if Gachagua, I heard Wetangula, I heard Mudavadi and Ruto himself saying that ISIS is opened. I believe that's going to be one of our resolutions. And if he wants the recognition and legitimacy from the rest of Kenya, because so far he's a minority leader. Leaders have said he was elected by only a third of the electorate of Kenya. The silent majority is not with him. His legitimacy is in question until the day those servers are opened. So starting December Mengi, I want to agree with Churchill as he comes. The issue of Article 35 of our Constitution remains alive, and Kenyans have the right to ask for that information. Smartmatics refused to open the servers. They wrote a letter. We still have it. So those who are saying you opened the server, you know what Smartmatics your friends did. If you are smart enough, tell your Smartmatic friends to open the server. Story hii kwishe, Suba Churchill, Karibu read the resolutions, then we'll bring our two leaders to speak to us.